Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Kaisernail. Recently, I played Garurumon at my locals and got first place, which was pretty sick. I hate Cross, so just gonna act like that guy doesn't exist. So let's get right into the deck profile, quick and painless. These are our eggs. We're running 3 of the Sunomon and 1 of the Bukamon. It's pretty self-explanatory why we're only running 1 Bukamon because of the ban list. This card is great. We don't really need any of the other Sunomons, and the game should be over by the time you get to your 4th Digitama. So, for our first rookie, we have the BT5 Gabumon. We're running him at 2. On play, he's going to search you 3 cards, grab a Garurumon in name or an Omnimon. He's adding cards to your hand. That's badass. That's what we want to see. Next 2 rookies, we're running the BT1 Gabumon, the Drawboo. He's gonna on play draw you 1 card. Even if you whiff on your search like your BT5 Gabumon, it doesn't matter. This guy can't whiff on your search. You're gonna draw that damn card and you're gonna proc your mats and you're gonna like it. Up next, we've got 4 copies, count them, 4 copies of the BT15 Gabumon. This card is phenomenal. Start of your main, you get to give one of your Digimon blocker, and if you have a Mat Ashita, you get to draw a card, which is pretty sick. His Inherit lets you draw 1 when attacking once per turn. That's what this deck's about. We got to keep drawing cards, keep getting cards in our hand. Up next, we've got 3 copies of the BT9 Gabumon X. You already know what it is. I don't have to explain Gabumon X. We're MELGA players. Our brains are smooth. And the final rookie, 1 copy of the EX5 Gabumon X. This guy is busted, but we're still out here choking fools even though it's limited. We don't even care. Nice. Alright, on to the champions. We've got 3 of the BT15 Garurumon. I slept on this card at first, but let me tell you, this card is actually so value, especially when you have a mat in your hand and you don't have a mat on the field. Inherit when attacking. Once per turn, draw a card. Next up, we've got 3 of the classic promo Garurumon. You already know what this guy does. Every time you swing, he's going to draw you a card. I would honestly say the BT15 is like your backup level 4, but this guy is the guy that you want to see in your stack most of the time. Up next, we're running 3 copies of the BT9 Garurumon X. He's here because he's got to be. We're nothing without battle protection. We need a very thick helmet to protect our fragile brains when we're ramming our head into the security wall. Garuru players need to be put down, bro. We just had to keep banning cards. Like, we were too strong, too powerful. And our final level 4, we're running 1 copy of the Garurumon X Antibody from EX5. This card is nuts. He gets you through 3 cards of your deck, especially when you draw first for Digivolving, then draw 2, trash 2. And not only that, if there's a Garurumon in the stack after you Digivolve onto this guy, you get 1 memory, or X Antibody, but you know, most of the time you're going to be Digi this guy over Garurumon. And he's got that sick, nasty Battle Protect, too. This card is crazy. Alright, on to the level 5s, and hear me out. I'm running 2 copies of the BT15 Garurumon Ace. This card is slept on, I'm telling you. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like running a ton of aces in their decks, and that's perfectly understandable. I get it. It's a lot of memory if they out it, but he's a 4-drop. And he can stop something from suspending until the end of your opponent's turn. And that counts as tamers too, okay? Like, that's really good. He draws you 1, and then if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, you trash 1. So you're drawing 2, trashing 1 when you evo into this guy, which is like fantastic. It's great. This guy can literally save your ass in this game. Up next, you know we gotta run him. We're running 1 of the promo Garurumon. The guy's so strong they had to take his kneecaps out. God bless. When you see this guy in the stack and when he pops up, you just gotta go. You gotta start swinging for the fences. Up next, we've got 2 of the promo Garurumon Sagittarius mode. This guy is so sick. He is so good against decks that like to spam out rookies, decks like that, where you're just like farting rookies out all over the place. This guy's great. He can get rid of floodgates. That'll stop your reduction of Digivolution requirements because we're running some mental trainings in here. Stuff like that. He's great. I honestly can't think of a better level 5 to replace him with at this point. He worked out great for me. And on top of that, we have another layer of battle protection, which is great. And this effect, his main effect, is going to proc more often than not because we run 5 Tamers in this deck, and we see them pretty often. Then to cap off our level 5s, we're running 3 of the brand new EX5 Garurumon X Antibody. This guy is so good. If you Digivolve him on top of Garurumon, it only costs 1, and then by trashing 2 cards from our hand, we get to unsuspend him. And then if Garurumon or X Antibodies in his Digivolution cards, we get to add 1 Digimon card with Garurumon or X Antibody in its name back to our hand from the trash. You know, if our Gabumon X got thrown into the trash, or our Garurumon X EX5 got thrown into the trash early, we can just go back and get our 1-ofs. It's so sick. It's so good. I've been seeing a lot of people run the BT9 X, and that card is still really good. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still a huge fan of that card. But the fact that this has an inheritable that will let you further extend your plays by standing up again, by discarding a card, which is like who gives a shit? We're drawing so many cards, it really doesn't matter. I've had excess of like 15 cards in my hand at one time playing this deck. It's not uncommon. You're going to have a shit ton of cards in your hand. Alright, moving on to our Megas, our level 6s. We're running 2 of the starter deck 16 MELGA Ace. This guy is still great. Obviously, he's purple, so our mental trainings are going to miss him if we search him off of the mental training. But Matt will still hit this guy. Our Gabumons at search will still hit this guy. That's why I'm running him at 2, because I felt like I was running the wrong ratio when I was running him at 1 before. But now that he's at 2, I'm seeing him exactly when I need him, and I always have him when I need him. It's working out great so far. This card is amazing. Alright, up next is probably my favorite new card in this deck. We are running 3 copies of the secret BT15 MetalGarurumon. This card is busted. Like, I'm going to be real with you. If you have a Matt Ishida on the field, and your opponent has a Digimon with 10k DP or higher, your Gabumon, not your Gabumon X's, but your Gabumon, can Digivolve into this card. It can Warp Digivolve for 4 memory. When Digivolving, 3 of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers can't suspend until the end of their turn. You get to freeze 3 things when going into this guy. That includes their Tamers, man. And I've beaten Red Hybrid just by like dropping a Gabu for 3 while having a Mat in the back, and they have like maybe an Emperor Greymon or something that's buffed up on my turn, and this guy just stuns the rest of the Tamers so they can't go for game after that. It's so good. This card is so slept on. Not to mention the fact that it just has like evade, just like innately. This card just evades for some reason because, you know, why the hell not? This card is what has been allowing me to win my games lately, because people never expect me to just randomly have a level 3 like this Drawboo, just drop it down, draw a card, trigger my mats, maybe go up a couple memory, boom, Melga. This card is crazy. You really need to consider running this card at least like a 2 of in your deck. I'm running it at 3 because I always want to see this card. Like, I always want to see it. And the last of our level 6s, we're running 2 of the MetalGarurumon X Antibody from BT9. This card is still amazing. You swing in, evade, stand back up, swing in, okay? They have like 2 level 5s on the board. They're waiting to blast Evo you encounter. You're like, okay, I'm just going to do this for 1. Bounce your Davis back to hand. Keep swinging because you were dumb and didn't decide to block me the first time for some reason. This card is still great. It's great. I was running it at 3, but I'm seeing it enough at 2 where I'm going to keep it at 2. For our level 7s, we've got a Blitz Omni from BT5, classic. And then we also have the Omnimon X Antibody from BT10. You guys already know what this combo does. MELGA X, swing, go into Omni Blitz to unsuspend. Hopefully you have the X Antibody option underneath. Blitz, when attacking off the X Antibody option, go into this guy, strip their last security, swing here, win the game. I did win a game like this at my locals against Yellow Vaccine, and that is how I took the game. Alright, that's all our Digimon. Let's start off with the Tamers now. We're running 4 of the brand new BT15 Matashita. And this mat is crazy, guys. Like, okay, first of all, it's a 3-drop, and then he reveals 3 cards, and you get to add 1 with Gabumon or Garurumon among them. And also, the Your Turn effect is when one of your Digimon effects adds cards to your hand, which is like almost every card in this deck, just about. You get to tap this mat and gain a memory. This guy is going to let you go into your Wear X for like free most of the time. And honestly, the value that this guy accrues over the course of one match is... And we want to run him at 4 because we want our warp on the BT15 secret MELGA to be live. And we need a mat on the board for that to be live. So run him at 4. Last Tamer, we're running 1 BT3 Davis. Nothing fancy. Playing it for 4 is kind of ass, because playing a Tamer for 4 these days is kind of ass. But sometimes he whiffs, and you know, he pulls up a bunch of options like your mental trainings or your X antibodies or even your Omnimons, but this guy doesn't feel too bad to play because he searches 3, and that's always good. Options, we're running 4 of the blue mental trainings. These cards are crazy, especially for something like MELGA that's so based on playing with a high tempo. The mental trainings are almost a necessity in this deck, I would argue. I see some people running the blue memory boost, and that's fine, but blue memory boost is going to bottom deck your mat. And I don't want to bottom deck my mats. I want them in my hand, and I want to play them. Our final 2 options and our final 2 cards in the deck, we're running 2 of the BT9 X Antibody. You guys already know what this card does. It gives us the ability to Digivolve into an X Antibody card when we attack. And MELGA does a lot of attacking, so you can imagine why this would be a good card to have in your deck. So that was the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This deck is still kicking, and as for my matchups at my locals, I went 3-0 undefeated. My first matchup was against Yellow Vaccine, and it was an easy sweep. I just got in there, checked security a bunch of times, went basically unpunished. He tried to do cute things with the Magna Angemon Ace, but the Sunomon egg basically said, nice, I really don't care about your minus like 5k, 6k DP or whatever the hell it was, because I was bigger than that because of that Sunomon. And it basically helped me win that game because I got really lucky and I didn't check anything in security. I didn't check a Chaos Egg. Hell Scythe didn't really do anything to me either because I was bigger than 6k because of the Sunomon egg. And in the second round, he just bricked and I just went full gas, no mercy. Game 2, I ended up going against Ulforce, and the Ulforce player was actually really competent, and I ended up going 2-1 against him. He put up a really good fight, but this secret MELGA was the secret sauce that ended up winning me the matchup. He was unaware that the Gabumon could warp Evo into the MELGA as long as I had a mat on the board, and as soon as he got into his Ulforce X stack, he couldn't really do anything with it because he had played out all of his arenas and he had no way to trigger the effects on his Ulforce X. So once this guy came out, he really didn't have an answer for it unless he like Great Maelstromed or something like that, which is what he did to me in the second round that I ended up losing. But we got there, we pulled it out, and we tore up some security. Third match was against Machinedramon, and usually when MELGA goes up against Machinedramon, I play both of these decks, so I think generally MELGA has a better time going up against Machinedramon because of the speed, but if Machine Dramon gets there and they get there relatively early, like it's kind of hard for Melga to get in there over the Machine Dramon, especially when they have like a couple analog mans going in the back. But game one, I just got in there and I found the secret sauce and we just cleared security, managed to dodge Attack of the Heavy Mobile and stuff like that. Game two, I kind of was drawing poorly and I just wasn't seeing the right pieces to climb up my stack. And he ended up drawing the nuts. He just hard slammed a Chaos X next turn. Got a whole bunch of memory back, especially because he played it off of Supreme Connection. And we lost that round. We just couldn't get it to shake out. But however, round 3, Secret Melga came to the rescue again, man. He had the Chaos stack out. It wasn't Chaos X, it was just Chaos. We pushed out. We pushed out as a level 5. We used one of our mental trainings to go into the Secret Melga to keep turn, and we stunned both of his analog men, and we also stunned his main stack. So that allowed us to get in there, unsuspend, get in there again, go into Melga X, get in there again, and I think one of our other bodies on the board that was there previously from the last turn managed to get it and get the last swing in. Melga, I'm ride or die, man. Gabumon's my boy, and you know he always will be. Thanks for watching, boys and girls, and if you liked this deck profile, hit subscribe, you know, humor me. Hit subscribe, leave a comment, and have a nice fucking day. See ya. Thanks for watching.